Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. So, sitting here putting the finishing touches on Pescadero. We're going to get into that footage in just a second, but I wanted to provide a quick update because people have been asking about my summer race schedule, and I'm going back to Chicago for the Intelligentsia Cup. I'm so excited about it. I'm kind of doing the middle of it. Monday, July 25th until Thursday, July 28th in Chicago. Come out and say hi. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then we're flying back because we have the downtown San Rafael Criterium. Such a fun event. Look, if you're a local, you haven't registered yet, get on it. I'm going to put a link down in the description. Let's pump those numbers up a little bit. Show support for one of the best NorCal races, to be honest. Even if you're not a racer, come out, bang the boards, come say hi. We're going to put on a show, I promise. It's going to be a lot of fun. So information's down in the description. And with that said, let's get into some Pescadero race action. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the California State Road Race Championship. That's right, Pescadero Road Race. And this one's a toughie for sure. This is not a race for me. Let me just get that out there right off the bat, is I am not showing up at this race to win. I am definitely in a support role for my teammates. We're going to talk about how I did that. But first, let's talk about this course real quick. It's tough. It's 4 laps on this hilly loop, about 102 miles in total, 8,000 feet of climbing. And the climbing is really broken up into 3 distinct sections. There are these 2 twin climbs on stage road. They're each about a mile and a half at around 6%, so they last a good 5 minutes each. And then the main feature, which is the Haskins Road climb. That is just under 2 miles at about 7%, so that one takes about anywhere from, well, if I'm doing it, it's about 7.5, 8 minutes to climb. But actually today, the climb was KOM'd crazy. Quinn Felton putting on a masterclass in climbing. He did it in 6.5 minutes to take the all-time KOM. And let's just put that effort into some context. He finished the 6.5 minute climb at an average of 422 watts. And I can't imagine he weighs much more than about 140, 145 pounds, putting his watt per kg somewhere between 6.5 to 7 after 100 miles of racing. Mind blown. The kid is extremely impressive, and he was clearly the best climber on the day, like without question. But we still were able to get the win on Team Mike's bikes. How is that possible? Well, that's kind of the point of today's video. Let's dive into some team dynamics, how we still secured the state championship win, and that all starts with knowing your role on the team. So for me, for example, I already mentioned this, I am not a climber. In fact, I am not going to be able to provide any type of pacing support or any type of support on the climbs themselves. I am survival mode 100% on these climbs, which is why you see me right here. You might be wondering, why am I taking nearly the front of the bike race? There were like, I don't know, 70 people in this bike race or something. Why would I be right up in the top 5, top 10 coming into the bottom of this climb? Well, I'm going to sag climb it. And I imagine a lot of you people listening to this already know what that means, but really quickly, I'm going to start at the front of this group, and then when we get towards the top of this climb, I'm going to be finishing towards the back of the group. I'm maintaining contact with the peloton, but that gives me this like 20, 30 second buffer from the front of the peloton to the back where I can kind of fall back and lose wheels as the pace picks up. Because the pace certainly picked up. Here we are. After about 6.5 minutes, I averaged something like 360, 365 watts. And now I'm up at 500, and these riders on my left are just riding away from me as if I'm standing still. This is the level of bike racing that we have in NorCal. And this is a reason why I'm in a support role, is because I can't respond to this stuff. This is lap 1, by the way, too. We have to do this 4 more times. The pace is only going to pick up from here. And success. I'm come over the top of the climb, surviving it the first time through, which anytime I can get over Haskins and not get dropped as a crit boy sprinter, I am happy, because now we go down into the valley, and this is where I can contribute to the team. This is my role. This is the most important thing that I want to talk about today, is knowing your roles. If I just like sat in and saved energy the entire race, I'm just going to get smoked on the last climb anyway. I have like essentially a 0% chance of winning this race, but I can do a lot to help the team. And look, it's the least I can do. They help me win crits throughout the entire year. They do all of the work, and then I just come across the line for glory if all things go well. So the least I can do is return the favor, but that's not on the climbs. Down in the valley, I can chase stuff back. I can mark attacks. I can basically do everything in my power to make sure that the best climbers are looked after until the 4th hour of this race, when it matters the most. It's a lot like protecting a sprinter. We talk about protecting a sprinter in a crit, making sure they're sheltered in the draft as much as possible. Same is true in a hilly road race like this. You have to look after your climbers because you want them to have as much energy as possible than that last time up Haskins, for example. Okay, so unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of footage. GoPro batteries only last about an hour. This is a 4.5 hour race, but let me break this down in very simple terms. This was our plan coming into it. Roman and I were taking control in the first half of the race, marking attacks, chasing things back, in general just making it hard and keeping our climbers protected. The second half of the race, Jackson and RJ took over. Same idea, keeping our closers protected. In this case, though, Jackson got away with an Olympic Club rider, made the breakaway of the day. They stayed away until about a half a lap to go, which means those big-time climbers we talked about, like Quinn, for example, they had to chase, and they had to spend energy that they wouldn't normally spend. They just want to save everything for the final climb. Just like me as a sprinter, I want to save everything for the final 200 meters. So we set ourselves up really well, and once Jackson was caught with about 10 miles to go, Chris counterattacks with an Olympic Club rider. They bring a healthy gap into the bottom of the final climb. And the whole idea here is you're not allowing riders like Quinn and other really strong climbers to go toe-to-toe with you in the areas where they're most comfortable, which is the finishing climb. So we're picking up action here inside of 300 meters to go. I dropped off the last lap. I captured some footage from behind. Let's see how Chris can execute in a heads-up battle against the Olympic Club rider. And the first thing that you notice is even though they were doing close to 400 watts up this climb, they're already above 500. Now, Chris launches pretty early, 150 meters to go. I think he sensed weakness. He's up over 700 watts, which at the end of a 7.5-minute climb is a really hard effort, you guys. And he just steps on it. And it looks like the Olympic Club rider starts to cramp. This is the type of thing where it's like not necessarily a sprint. It's just who's the strongest guy. And in this case, we'd set things up so well as a team. Chris was, in fact, the strongest guy. So he was able to pull on the state champ jersey, and it was just such a fun experience to help the team out in something that wasn't a crit. Let's hear Chris's thoughts.
You knew you were going to win the whole time.
I definitely did not know I was going to win the whole time. It's one of those things, right? Like we build a plan, and like we hope that it is going to be a win, and like it always goes to on the road, right? Like nothing, like that wasn't the plan how that went, but like. You get to those last couple hundred meters and you're still doubting yourself and you're like, oh wait, I wonder if my legs will do this. And when they do, you're just kind of like in shock. I think that was the first time I've ever actually screamed at the finish line. Like normally I've had the luck of like finishing in a way where you can compose yourself. Let me zip this up. And that was the most raw emotion I think I've ever had at a finish line. And then, you combine that with like 5 minutes later as it was sinking in and I almost teared. Being old is being a masters racer like us is you feel like these are fleeting wins.
You earned it, dog. We'll do the jersey transfer ceremony in a couple of weeks. I'll schedule that.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Congrats, dude.
Thanks, man.